How to make Hard Target 2 a memorable watch? Well, for every so bad it's almost badass line of dialogue, shout hi-ya, karate chop yourself in the nutsack and take a shot at tequila, and then, maybe then, you'll still forget all about it. What's up, bro-mandos? My name is Mike and welcome back to ActionRation. Today I'll be reviewing Hard Target 2, a direct-to-DVD sequel in name only of the John Woo Van Damme film, but before I get into that, you know, I don't really consider myself a film critic. The biggest determining factor on whether or not I like a movie is how entertaining I found it to be, and while I don't like Transformers 2 because I find it way too freaking long, I'm well overdue a rewatch of Conan the Destroyer. Basically, I love schlock. So bad it's good is still good in my book because it's fun to watch. Hard Target 2 is well on its way to belonging in that category, but it never really embraces its own badness or shows a single shred of self-awareness, meaning I had to take the movie at face value for what it gave me, and what it gave me was pretty bad. But let's start with the good, shall we? One thing I do really like about Hard Target 2 is it fixes my only real complaint about Hard Target 1, and that's it doesn't waste any time getting the main character, this time played by Scott Adkins, into the jungle being hunted by a group of rich psychopaths looking to check murder off their bucket list. While the originals spend a lot of time with Van Damme trying to figure out that there is an illegal hunting racket hunting men with military backgrounds, this one just sort of gets right into it. And that's about the only thing I liked, really. This movie's script basically had the subtlety of a sumo wrestler slicing sashimi with a Gallagher sledge-o-matic. I hate to give the story away, but Hard Target 2 is honestly not a movie I think you should watch, so spoilers. The movie begins with Adkins' character Wes Baylor accidentally killing his opponent in an official MMA fight. Then it wastes no time in revealing that the dead guy was actually Baylor's best friend, that before the fight they joked about who would buy who a beach house with the prize money, and now that he's dead, his young wife is going to be left a widow. If the purpose of a movie's beginning is to introduce the protagonist and give us a reason to root for them, this movie fails colossally. Baylor looking for redemption is supposed to be the driving motivation behind why he goes to Bangkok to fight in underground matches, eventually becomes a hard target when he accepts a payout from a very sketchy figure named Aldrich, and in the end learns to live with himself again. But they harp on it so much that by the time Baylor receives a letter from the widow saying all is forgiven at the end, the cringe factor is so high, it'll leave you wanting to flay layers off your eyeballs with the freaking K-bar. But enough on Baylor. I mean, besides his character being poorly written, Scott Adkins has plenty of chances to show off his martial arts ability in this movie, and let's be honest, that's why he's there. His stonework here is pretty cool, and I mean, that scene where he does a split kick between two guys on motorcycles is kind of what made me want to watch the movie in the first place. As for the other characters, though, wow. The main villain, Aldrich, who's basically Lance Henriksen from the first movie, has a lot of really ridiculous, over-the-top moments. But I think my favorite is at the very end where he decides he needs some entertainment. Instead of taking his only opportunity to shoot Baylor right in the face, he instead turns to his henchman and goes, "Did you bring the beers?" Spoiler warning number 2. He then spends like 5 minutes drinking beer while watching all his henchmen fail to kill Scott Adkins with martial arts. Surprise. And how about the rest of the hunters tracking Baylor? Well, we got a couple of Texans who might as well be alien rapist mutants, which as a Texan myself I find offensive. A matador from Spain who of course likes to talk about honor and then gets pissed when Aldrich calls him a spick, saying instead, "No one calls me a spick. I'm Dago." Which would be like someone calling me a honky and me turning around and saying, "Hey, it's Cracker." But my favorite is definitely Ronan Mitra, whose every line of dialogue goes something like, "Just in case you all forgot from the last scene, I'm still a f***ing bitch, and my daddy was a rich asshole." I want to give this movie a 3 out of 10, but my new buddy Sean Chandler, he already gave it a 3 out of 10 in his review. He also reviewed Kickboxer Vengeance, which he gave a 7 out of 10, just like me. So I'm going to give Hard Target 2 a 2 out of 10 on the macho meter, but not because I want to be different, but because of the worst shot in the movie. So it's the climax of the movie. They're on this bridge that separates Burma and Thailand, and a bunch of Myanmar soldiers take their M16s and just light up Aldrich in a CGI gore fest. And not even 15 feet directly in the line of fire in front of him is Baylor and the movie's token ethnic babe. There's no excuse for it. In real life, they just would have been bullet chow. It's one of the laziest things I've seen a movie do seriously in a long time. I mean, it's a big difference if it's something like Sharknado and they're doing it on purpose because it's bad and it's meant to be funny. But it's a whole nother thing that, no, this is the climax of the movie. This is what they're giving us. Again, I try to judge movies on their entertainment factor, but at 100 minutes, to me, this movie just kind of dragged. They could have cut out all of Baylor's character development, why he was in Bangkok in the first place, shaved it down to the 80-minute mark, and I actually think it would have been more enjoyable. Look, if you're not going to give us character development that you care about, just don't give it to us, because we're not going to care either. But anyways, that about does it for this review. If you watched Hard Target, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I don't watch a ton of this straight-to-DVD stuff, so maybe I'm completely wrong. If so, I want to hear about it. Thank you for watching this short review, and if you liked it, don't forget to seek that like button and destroy that subscribe button. There's always plenty more action-packed content coming up here at ActionRation, so till next time, Bromandos, I'll see you again real soon.